Well, we are continuing our Farm Bill Priority series here on The Big Show, and to talk about that, someone who's in charge of some of those Farm Bill priorities, Representative Zach Nunn here in Iowa District 3, the Southwest Central Iowa area, member of the House Agriculture Committee, on the line right now. Zach, thank you so much for joining us, Representative Nunn, and just tell us a little bit about your top notes here, because that markup bill was, in fact, passed out of the House Agriculture Committee.
Yeah, David, so this is really exciting. We were able to move forward a once-in-a-5-year farm bill, and, we were, in perspective here, 6 months behind schedule as a freshman, but we're probably a year ahead of schedule when it comes to historical farm bills. So I'll take this as a good, diligent win, and I, as a freshman, went out and met with farmers all across the district, met with ag producers, met with communities impacted by ag, and this really ends up being just about everybody in the state of Iowa. We did dozens of farm listening tours talking to hundreds of people, and I will say this, they were the ones that helped us provide our priority target list, so kind of a farm kitchen cabinet, if you will, of great recommendations. And as you noted, we were able to get a large number of our priorities into the Farm Bill from Iowa. In fact, we were one of the top legislators to get the largest number of priorities and really allowing Iowa to kind of outkick its coverage when it comes to making sure that we had top-level items that got passed and included in this bipartisan Farm Bill.
So then what are the top items you all got into this bill?
First and foremost for me was that we got actual farm in the Farm Bill. That means taking care of the growers, the producers, the planters, and by supporting our farmers, we were able to bolster commodity programs. We strengthened the crop insurance, increased reference prices, and expanded access to credit for small and beginning farmers. We also worked really hard to include hard infrastructure, those things like investing in rural communities, expanding broadband connectivity, which has brought us both remote work, precision ag, telehealth, and then supporting rural America through disaster recovery. And then I'll note just a couple of things I think are really important in this. We continue to feed America by investing 80% of the funding into a healthy food program. Particularly, my efforts were to help in rural communities, which have less access to big grocery stores, but making sure that communities across Iowa had good quality access. And the last two I'll highlight here are an effort we've led with, a sheriff out of Iowa who was the first on the scene to help rescue puppies. Iowa has, unfortunately, a bad history here with puppy mill violations. And then fighting back against foreign threats. This is everything from Chinese attempts to buy farmland right here in Iowa to the cybersecurity threats that come after the ag industry. Obviously, that's my background, so I was proud to get to lead on that. And across the board, we had just good wins for farmers, and we're ready to now move this thing forward and get it on the floor so that we can get farmers the certainty they deserve.
One more note I felt was really important for our pork producers was the Prop 12 adjacent law dealing with interstate commerce. The Supreme Court kicked it back to Congress and said, you guys have to deal with that, and it appeared to get into this farm bill.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of jokingly refer to this as the Save Our Bacon effort, and what it's really highlighting here is that the state of California, or even more specifically, a few folks in the state capital in California don't get to decide for the entire country how the ag production should work. And California can do whatever it wants inside California's state, but they can't shut down interstate commerce and tell, pork producers in Iowa how to grow their pork, or, as we've seen in the past, egg producers across the Midwest, how they want to do it. We don't want 50 different states and 4 territories all throwing their own regulation on top of farmers. It's going to crush Iowa's 87,000 different family and community farms if we're trying to answer to, 56 different bosses, basically.
One more note, this bill was bipartisan, passing out of committee. 4 Democrats joined up, and that was a nice bipartisan move. However, a lot of House Democrats on the committee throughout the debate said that if it makes it through the House, the Senate and the President won't support it. What are the options moving forward then on trying to get a bill through that will be supported by the Senate and the President?
Well, first, I'm very glad that we were able to work on a number of bipartisan elements of this bill. I specifically led efforts with guys like Don Davis and Abigail Spanberger to make sure that we had things that actually help farmers and help families. And so having those included in there, I think, is going to continue to bring more and more folks from both parties together. I look forward to that same type of, work across now the chambers and trying to get the Senate on board. And, David, I'll be very candid. I would not want to be a Democrat, and I'll be specific, in an election year who is harming family farms and who is making the cost of food more expensive because they won't agree to a farm bill that has a lot of really good things in here, that reforms programs, that expands innovation and access, and it helps drive down the cost of everything from what we buy in the grocery store to what we buy at the fuel tank. So I'm still cautiously optimistic as a military guy here that we have a battle plan for success to be able to deliver a farm bill that America deserves.
Talking Farm Bill priorities with Iowa Representative Zach Nunn of District 3, a member of the House Agriculture Committee. Thank you, Representative Nunn, for joining us today on The Big Show.
David, always an honor. Stay safe and watch out for those storms. Take care of all. Thanks.
We absolutely will. Thanks a bunch to Representative Zach Nunn there.